Okay, so like there's a lot of musicians who um, you could say like, oh, just practice, 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 right? And you'll get better. But um, what can happen to a lot of people is they'll just practice, 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 but they'll practice like the same kind of things, and they'll kind of be stuck in like a box or like stuck in like a thing of what like things that they play, and it's just kind of like that's just like what they do. So that's one of the reasons why it can be good to find a good teacher is because your teacher can introduce you to things that um, you may have not even knew existed, or like knew, oh, hey, try this, right? Because a teacher will like have like, if they're a really good teacher, they'll have like a lot of cool things that they've already tried, right? So they've messed around with this and they've messed around with that and they've done a bit of this and they've done a bit of that. They have all these cool ideas and thoughts and patterns that they can throw at you, and so if you come to a teacher and they'll say, hey, like this is what I do with some of my students. I'll say, hey, try this, or hey, try that, right? Do this, give this a shot. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I think that's great because it allows you to break outside of that box that a lot of people are in, within their own playing. Because what can happen, like I've said, is you like learn a couple things and then you just get caught up in those things, and then so it can be good to have people say, hey, do this, do that, and if they're a really good teacher, they'll show you things that are relative to your level of playing. So things that you can actually potentially do, and then they'll show you ways, um, like actual practical methods or techniques or scales or things like that, and how that can all be implemented on a practical level that you can actually mess around with that. So one of my favorite things, to tell my students to do is to improvise with theoretical concepts that I like to describe to them. So I'll say, hey, I'll describe a theoretical concept and then I'll try to show them a way that they can actually like use their looper and play around with it. Because if you play around with the theoretical concepts, then you're gonna understand it that much better, because now you're actually playing as opposed to just understanding it on a theoretical level. But yeah, so just the thought there about how people who are kind of already beyond your level of playing, and then they can see that maybe you are in like a certain a space of what you're doing, like a loop of what you're doing. See, so I've had some friends who they they never got a teacher, or they did for like a little bit, but they never really, and then they kind of got into like a certain way of playing, and they always just kind of stuck in that same way of playing. Whereas what I found with when I went to my teacher, they're always saying, hey, try this, hey, try that. And another cool thing too is another reason why it is good to read music and to be constantly like digesting new songs and understanding theoretical concepts and stuff like that, is because that can also show you those things as well. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys some ideas about that, and how you can break out of ways that you've been playing into kind of new areas, that you can new worlds you can kind of explore, new musical worlds that you can explore that you may have not even knew existed. But anyway.